Elizabeth Edwards. She is making her round of interviews, and she started by talking to Matt Lauer of the Today Show. And we have tidbits of the interview that I found the most interesting. And we're going to start off with the first video where she talks about how she has no regrets marrying John Edwards.
All right, let's see it.
Of your marriage.
You know, did I waste my time in these years? Have I thrown this part of my life away? And I decided that I didn't, that maybe I didn't get the same things out of it I expected to, or that I thought I was at the time. But when I look back, there's really lots of blessings that I had. I've had the opportunity, you know, to have these great children. I've had wonderful friends. I've had experiences that, you know, really couldn't be replaced, and opportunities to talk about things that matter to me.
When the story of John's affair first came to light, you were told by John, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this was basically a one-night stand.
It was, and I thought that throughout the campaign. I thought that for much longer than most people would have thought reasonable, but I believed it.
How did you learn what we all know now, that this was much more of a relationship, and in fact there was a child?
All right, so, and it goes on and on.
Yeah, it's about it's a 15-minute long interview, and throughout the entire interview, she says almost nothing disparaging about John Edwards. It's amazing. She keeps a very positive attitude, even considering the fact that she has a terminal illness, even considering the fact that she was married to John Edwards for 32 years. She was very, very civil and very optimistic throughout the entire interview, and I thought that was incredible.
All right, I love what she said, because I don't like this idea that if you go out with someone or you're married to someone for X period of time, if it doesn't reach the right conclusion at the end, that the entire thing in hindsight was wasted, that it should be wiped from the records. All the good times that you had don't count, right? As if you never lived them. I just don't believe in that. I believe what Elizabeth Edwards says. Look, I got some great kids, I had great times, I had these opportunities. In the end, he changed, and so that sucks, but I like the rest of it.
Yeah, and that is exactly what she said. She said, you know, I believe that I married a marvelous man, and that over time he changed, and perhaps we all change. That's exactly what she said, and I thought that was a very classy answer.
No, nothing but classy so far.
Now, of course, Matt Lauer begins to ask her about Riel Hunter, right? And surprisingly, the class continues. So we have...
Oh, here's what Anna would have answered. Oh, you mean that skank?
Yeah.
That slut?
Yeah.
That hussy? Is that the one you're talking about, Matt?
It would be very difficult to restrain myself, but she did a great job doing so. So we have the second video, and here she's talking about Riel Hunter.
Study myself, find myself.
When I watched Riel Hunter on Oprah Winfrey, you know what I kept thinking?
What's that?
I wonder if Elizabeth is watching this.
I actually watched it later. I didn't watch it then, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did watch some of it. I mean, it's impossible not to.
Curiosity alone.
Curiosity, and also, you know, I know I'm going to get asked questions about it. And at first, I didn't watch it, and I thought, well, that's silly.
What'd you think?
I still think this person is so completely unlike me that it's hard to imagine that the same person could marry me and be attracted to that woman as well.
In the last year, a couple of books have been written, Elizabeth, that were not kind to you at all. Andrew Young wrote a book, John's longtime aide. There's another book called Game Change. Right. And in it, although they talk about a lot of things, they describe you in some ways as intrusive and manipulative, and I'm curious your reaction when you first heard those descriptions.
Well, I mean, it's hard, of course, to hear any kind of criticism. I wasn't particularly worried about anything that Andrew Young said. I don't mind saying that his book is just. I mean, it's not that he didn't have a good story to tell; he did, but he is so filled with lies that I don't consider it having any bearing whatsoever on the truth, particularly with respect to me.
All right.
So there were two opportunities for her to go crazy and say a ton of negative things, right? For Riel Hunter and also the two authors who wrote about her in their books. Classy, both of the answers. I just really like the way she handled those questions. I think that there's a lot of strength in that.
Strength.
Look, she said that all of the criticisms in the book were helpful, because that made her realize, hey, maybe I was too harsh. Who says that?
Right.
The reason why I'm so impressed with it is because a lot of people would either dodge the question, a very small minority of people, me included, would say something negative about those people and be vindictive. But she actually went above and beyond and tried to find the positives in the negatives. I mean, whether it had to do with John Edwards, whether it had to do with the affair, whether it had to do with the books that were written about her, she named specific positives that she found out of those negative instances.
The question is, do you believe it?
I do, actually. Yes, I do believe it.
You're more skeptical?
I believe none of it.
Whoa, okay.
0%.
Jeez, Lord mercy, Jared's coming out strong.
She's smart to do it. I mean, I'm not get by it, but come on, dude. She was married to a politician. She doesn't know how to play the game. Come on, she doesn't know how to have a good image of herself, especially when and I'm not taking this away. She is the victim. She is the one who was screwed over. She is the one with all these issues, and then still got screwed over. So she's in a perfect position to still be the saint. Act like the saint. Play it. I have no problem with it, but she's playing it. Come on now.
Okay, all right. I'm somewhere between you guys. I think, of course, there's a little bit of that. At the same time, she probably means a lot of it. Okay, now, having said that, did you get her snipe at Riel Hunter? I think that's what JR is picking up on. Like, I don't know, we're completely different people.
Yeah, and then she also said that, and then she corrected herself by saying that woman.
Right.
I caught that too.
And then she's like, you completely different woman, meaning I'm smart and know what I'm talking about. And that one's a dingbat.
Yeah.
Okay, so what the hell is John, my husband going around having sex with that idiot loser for? I mean, that you read between the lines. You see what I'm saying?